A lot's happened since yesterday!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first official amazing episode of A Lot's Happened Since Yesterday. My name is Cody Walker. With me now and always at this show will be my partner, Mr. Ralph Buso. Ralph, say hello.
What's up, guys? What's going on?
Yes, sir. Big day. It's been a long time coming that we started this shit.
Yep.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, bro. You know, other than just being tired from all the shit that we're doing, because you and I have been busy lately, and the world's going to, at least, portions of the world, people that follow the kind of stuff that we put out, they're going to see how busy we've been. They're going to see that we've been doing a lot of stuff and a lot of cool stuff, a lot of really fun stuff. A lot has happened since yesterday. And that's why when you first came to me and said, dude, I have an idea for a podcast and we'll call it A Lot's Happened Since Yesterday, I started laughing because, first of all, that's an inside joke for you and I.
No, it really is.
And that's something that we share, that we cherish, honestly, because it's such a funny story. It's such an amusing story, and it makes so much sense. And nowadays, with everything that's going on with the COVID-19 and the civil unrest and what's going on with the politics and stuff like that, I think people can really relate to a show that's called A Lot's Happened Since Yesterday, because it really does seem like life has changed dramatically overnight. Almost.
Yeah, it really has. It really has. It's gotten absolutely fucking insane. And when we did talk about this, I don't know. It got so tiring with everything that was going on with the, the politics and the COVID, and just seems like every time you turn around, somebody was pissed off at something else that not us, but that somebody else was doing, and it just seemed like it was time for us to step up and kind of, I don't know, get stupid,
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the point of this show is not just to, obviously, to entertain people. You and I are entertainers, number one. So that's what we're there. That's what we're looking to do. We're looking to make some people smile, make some people laugh, make some people feel good about their circumstances in life, and not look at it from the viewpoint of, oh, woe is me. Everybody's going through shit right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So none of us is going to get away from that. Nobody has a get out of jail free card from that right now. We don't. Nobody does. So we're all in the same position. So in a way, that should bring us together, technically. Yep. And I think entertainment is a good way to do it. And this show, I'm very proud of us because we developed, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up our own asses. That's kind of silly. But
no, we do it well, though.
I know we definitely do. No, we developed a really cool idea. I mean, we all respect Joe Rogan. We all love his show, his podcast. There are many others as well. But we kind of looked at it from the viewpoint of, hey, you know what? Let's talk about specific topics. And we put together like a group of topics that we cover. Right. And most people shy away from those topics.
That's true.
But we're not going to do that as long as, we're going to respect our guests, and we're going to show them that we're here for them, to push them, to get their name out there more, and also to entertain our viewers.
Facts.
And because there's a lot of people that we have that we're getting ready to bring on the show. We already did our first recording the other day, and now we're putting it all together. And I'm amazed how well that came off. I think a lot of people will be interested and intrigued to see and to learn about people that they don't know about necessarily, because there's a lot of entertainers in the world. You know what I mean? But some of them they really stand out, and they're really worth checking out. Yep. You're going to be happy that you got to know them, and you probably won't get enough of them. I think about that all the time when I think about comedians and musicians and actors, specific ones that really reach me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when I start going, you know what? I'm going to look into all their body of work, and I think that's what happens when you find somebody that really fuels the flame inside of your soul. You know what I mean? That makes you go, either makes you really laugh really hard, deep, soulful laughter, or someone that makes you cry. They make you, you know what I mean? They bring out the feelings inside of you. Those kind of people are far and few between. They are. It's true.
Yeah, they break the mold with them, dude. I mean,
yeah.
I think it does with especially with artists, and people turn to them and any kind of form of entertainment for escape to get away from this shit. That's, like you said, that was the inspiring of this.
No.
We should probably tell some people who we are, because there's probably going to be a lot of people who are just coming in. So to introduce what we've done, like you mentioned, we've been in the entertainment industry for a long time. So for those who don't know who we are and what we've done, me and Ralph came together with a band called Serpent Underground. That started actually before I came around. Ralph, you started that in 2003, right?
You know what I mean? It depends on how you look at it.
Right.
We didn't have like an actual band until about 2003, and we put together a demo. It was kind of a weak demo, but then later on we did better, and it grew from there.
Right.
But when you came in 2007, right?
Yeah, around 2007 is when I came in, and so that's when we pretty much started working.
Right. And we were doing a lot that year. That year we got busy.
We pushed hard.
We got real busy. Yeah. We pushed real hard. We played with a lot of cool bands. Powerman 5000, Five Finger Death Punch. The list goes on, really.
Yeah. Didn't you guys play with Dragon Force just before I joined?
Dragon Force.
Yep.
So
we were pushing. I mean, we were making our bones, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, five. Whatchamacallit, the bass player for Static X. He was in another band, and we played with him, Tony. Yeah, and he was a real cool guy. And I got to meet Wayne Static that night, and that was kind of cool. So, we did a bunch of stuff, man. You got to admit, Ivan Moody was really, really cool.
Yeah, he was fucking fun.
When we played with him, he was a really cool dude. He came up to me, and he was totally cool. He joined in with me on an interview, and it was really cool, man, because those guys blew up after that, know. So, anyways, but we've had our moments. Yeah. And now,
but that's at our core is where we started, was with Serpent. Right. So our core is really in musicians, or sorry, in music and that form of entertainment. But over the years, we really branched out into all aspects of the industry. I mean, you, sir, you were all over the place filming, TV shows with True TV or wait, was it True? No, it was not. It was Travel Channel. Travel Channel. I'm sorry, but you did a show with them. You worked on it with one of our good friends, Steve Santini, which we will have on as a guest probably multiple times now that we're looking at his background.
Yeah.
But yeah, we come from a pretty big background of music. Ralph is now. We should probably get into the currents. Ralph is now lead singer of Ravenscroft. So if you haven't checked them out, go check them out now. Ravenscroft.com. And all the social medias and Spotify's and YouTube's and all whatnot you can do. So that's what we've been doing lately as of current. But now that we're doing a lot's happened since yesterday, you're going to start hearing some more offshoots from music and what we've done. I mean, for the love of fuck, when I started, I was a goddamn circus clown. That ain't no goddamn joke. So, I mean, I've been in all aspects of the entertainment industry as well since I was a child. So we've really kind of... I'd say we really kind of had our own weird paths to get to where we've become, but obviously once we crossed paths, it was all fucking forward as far as I'm concerned. Ooh, Scottish there. It's all fucking forward.
When it comes to, and I remember you telling me this in the past several times actually, and I've heard it from a lot of people. It takes it takes pretty much in order to be successful, it takes a team. But at least case scenario, you know what I mean? If you can't put together a team, you at least need a partner, man. You at least need somebody that you're going to be able to work with and bounce ideas off of and go, hey, what do you think we should do with this? Yeah, whether it be a song, a TV show idea, a movie idea, anything, anything that you can think of in the entertainment industry. If you have somebody to bounce ideas off with, that's like the best way to start. And then you develop a partnership and a team. And I think you and I are already at team stage.
Right.
And so, you know what I mean? Because we know a lot of people in the industry that respect us. So, Ravenscroft recently signed with Pavement Entertainment, and Tim and Mark are really great guys. They know their business.
Shout out to Pavement.
I trust them. Shout out to Pavement. Tim, Mark, thank you. You guys are awesome.
Absolutely.
We're looking forward to having both of you on the show. So anyways, they're doing great things. They signed Puddle of Mud, Powerman 5000, Soil. There's a ton of bands that you've heard of, Candlebox. They're just like a really solid amount of really strong bands that they have signed to their roster. And we're proud to be among the roster, So,
and you guys are working hard until COVID fucked you.
Right. Well, yeah.
We're all on a fucking holding pattern.
We're exactly. COVID got everybody, dude. Yeah. COVID nailed everybody in the ass. But what are you going to do? You know what I mean? You're either going to sit there and go, oh, woe is me,
get really pissed off and start a podcast.
Yeah. Well, you could do that. And maybe if you get lucky, it'll do something. But no, I mean, I think you and I are doing this because we enjoy it. We love it.
I just can't. Honestly, the reason I wanted to do this more than anything is it's just like we have worked so hard to be in this industry and to be part of the entertainment. But at the end of the day, if I don't create something, I go out of my mind. No. And we have a way to get out to people, and we have a way to talk to people, and we have friends and really cool, interesting people that we've met along this journey. Like I said, I mean, our first guest, which we're going to hear from in a little while, was Michael. Michael Aronovitz for fuck's sake, he's a professor at in Delaware. He's a horror writer, and he's also a rock and roll reviewer. So it's like he came through us through rock, but he's such a cool dude. He's got a cool perspective, and we want to be able to bring people like that.
Yeah, he's a very intelligent guy, very well spoken. He understands the circumstances that we're dealing with today, and with the current events going on. He had an interesting perspective, I thought. So it was great to talk to him. I'm looking forward to sharing that, which we're going to be sharing in a few minutes here. Yep. We're going to be airing that segment where we interview Michael Aronovitz. Great horror writer.
No, he's fucking cool. I read some of his shit. It's kind of it's Like I think I told him he's kind of got a sick fucking mind, but it was all completely out of respect. But he has a great, very detailed way of writing. But my point is he's the first guy, but we already have a small list started of people we are pushing to have on the show, and it's going to span a whole variety of people, and that's our. I guess what I was getting at is that's our real motivation, is to be able to just kind of give perspective from guys who've been in the industry a while, and we don't give up. We always do something, and that's kind of been our reputation throughout the years. We've been told multiple times that they always expect us to be doing some shit,
Well, that's the plus of the show too. Is it's not just entertainment. Right. It's not just you and I BSing.
Yeah.
Talking about the past and what we're doing currently. It's not us just plugging either ourselves or plugging a guest that we've got on and shooting the shit with them. It's we're getting deep into people's thoughts and mind process. What we're going to be talking about is going to be not only interesting and going to be something that you're going to be able to take a takeaway from. with you and go, I never thought about it from that viewpoint. Not only is there going to be a lot of that, but also we are going to be talking to some top professionals who have done a lot of stuff in the entertainment business.
Right.
Have been very successful. And we're going to be getting tips from them. We're going to be getting advice from them. And, you can't beat that.
Oh, hell no. And we're also going to talk about how like we got into a little bit about, how Michael's way to create through his art of writing and storytelling does still coincide with the way we create music and art through our respective mediums. And yet there's always these tie-ins that feed a thread that intertwine all of us into the world that is entertainment. That was really out there, but you know what I was trying to say.
No, totally get it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I didn't have anything. I'll cut this out. Keep going. I probably won't even cut it out because this is episode 1. We need to fucking figure this shit out.
Leave it in there. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun for the whole family.
God damn.
No.
Anyway.
But I think what you, I could be wrong, but I think the point that you were trying to get to is also part of it is it takes a certain amount. You mentioned to me a couple of times, and I thought it was a good point, that basically in order to earn the right to success, there's like a certain amount that you have to go through.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I forgot how you termed it. Rite of passage.
Yeah, there is kind of a rite of passage. I do think that.
Right, yeah, and so that's like some people they get lucky for whatever reason. Obviously, there, in my opinion, there's no such thing as an overnight success, but I do believe that some people get lucky when they're like really young and attractive and they have some talent. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because it can be molded and it can be made into this monster. You know what I mean? Right. And it happens all the time, not to take away from the person's talent. And of course, when you're young and beautiful, people are going to be more leaning towards wanting to see you perform. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate, but most people don't want to see an 85-year-old man dancing and singing.
No, but there is an aspect that I mean, obviously, it's a lot harder to do. Of course, if you have the quintessential pop look, you're gonna go far if you have the talent as well. But at the same time, when you have sheer, undeniable fucking talent, for sure, there's success to be had. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that when they're trying to quote unquote make it. They start in and they have this idea. I know when I did, I thought, I'm gonna start playing music and I'm gonna whatever it is, music, Metallica, gonna be the rock star, the whole nine. And then you get into the grind and go, oh shit, this is a real thing. And if I want to succeed, I have to take a path and go that path and stick to it. And a lot of people forget that is the goal.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a pretty face or a smoking hot bod or a set of Hooters that says I like her music, whatever you think it is. But there is that. Obviously, sex does sell. But a lot of people gotta become that. We've talked about it. You got to become that undeniable entity. You have to take what you are and you have to cram it down somebody's throat the right way.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem with a lot of musicians. To be honest with you, I see it more in our preferred genre. Even though we like a lot of different styles of music. Right. I'm not going to try this down to one genre, but obviously you and I are more rock and metal fans than we are, the other genres that are out there. But
well, real quick, what is your main, what is kind of your background? What did you come up on? Because we are kind of trying to give our background.
Well, I mean, I grew up in the Bronx, right. So I came up on, to be honest with you, there was a plethora of different styles of music at that time. when I was growing up, new wave was still pretty popular, and it was starting to get towards the Nine Inch Nails era. There was a little bit of Dio involved, a little bit of Twisted Sister.
You've been a metalhead pretty much the entire time.
Well, yeah, I mean there was a lot of every little thing, but I used to also listen to what was the name of that one rap band? I can't remember their name now, but LL Cool J was one of the ones. I'm trying to think of the one. They were actually really good, but it's old school, man. It's nothing like what they play now.
You talking about like Beastie Boys and shit?
Well, Beastie Boys too. That was another one, Yeah. And then when I heard Linkin Park and Eminem, I was like, okay, this is cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? I like this shit. But Linkin Park preferred. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm more rock and metal guy. And as I started getting more and more into hard rock, heavy metal, different forms of it. I'm not huge into death metal, but I do like power metal. Disturbed, Godsmack. Those are some of my favorite bands. Shinedown.
Same.
And there's a lot more where that came from, but those are just some prime examples.
Right.
Those are excellent bands. So, and that's what you strive to be like. The best of the best.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, they're the best of the best. Of course, Metallica, Iron Maiden, there's like a ton of bands that are just fantastic bands that are, like you said, undeniable.
Right.
So you got to kind of go with that flow. And I think you and I have followed that. We may not be hugely successful like those bands, but a lot of our fans have said, dude, you guys are right on the money with what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think we did a good job, and I'm proud of the body of work that we have in front of us.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, this podcast is going to be interesting. Today, we're going to be talking to Michael Aronovitz. And first and foremost, he's a horror writer. I think you're going to be very interested in some of the work that he's done. He actually shares a company with Stephen King, the same company that Stephen King is signed to and releases some of his work.
Right.
He's also on the same. He's signed with the same company, so publishing wise. So he's done some good stuff. I think you guys are going to enjoy the interview. It's fun. We talk about a lot of different things.
Yep.
On a side note, we're going to be doing a lot of these.
Yep.
So, and we're going to have a lot of guests on, and it's going to get better as it goes. I promise you.
Oh yeah, this is the fledgling episode, dude. I don't even know if we should call this episode 1. This is the baby. This is the wee baby episode.
Yeah, so
but we're gonna make it metal.
If you guys like it, if you guys think it's cool, it's got some, it's got a chance to, be one of the shows that you watch regularly. Tune in, subscribed. Hit the subscribe button.
Follow, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Hit the notification bell. All of that shit. Get it all going.
Bell, all of that stuff.
Yep. Also, I've already set up an email for people who want to listen and pay attention. Let me bring it up. I believe. See, look how fucking new I am. I didn't even write this down.
Well, you'll put it in the comment section, right?
Oh, yeah,
I'll add all this description.
Shit, yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was right. But yeah, it's ALHSY questions@gmail.com. So it's the letters of a lot's happened since yesterday. You can see it right there. Okay, boom. It's that at gmail.com. That questions, ALHSY questions@gmail.com. Suggestions, critiques, comments, questions, limericks, anecdotes.
Take it easy on the critiques, okay?
Well, you can do the critiques, but don't be an asshole.
We're a little bit sensitive, you know what I'm saying?
Fucking be nice. No, but I will say that though. But that's also the thing. That was another thing that we're doing with this is we're gonna have a bunch of people from all over, but it doesn't, like you said, our topics are gonna cover a lot of what people would consider like, ooh, the scary topics. But the point is, it's not about that. It's about just learning about people and talking and having fun and shooting the shit and learning about the industry and how they got here to begin with. you know?
Yeah. The best way to get into a person's head and learn about them and actually get something from them
not a drill.
It's not a drill. It's just you just have to go at it and be honest and be willing to answer some tough questions that most people are going to shy away from. And but that's the best way to get to know somebody. Yeah. And then okay, you know what, this guy is pretty cool. This chick's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Yeah. You either like them or you hate them. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's like that's the whole point of this. Is this show? We're coming from the perspective of having a good time, getting to know some really cool people who've done some really cool stuff in the industry, and just sharing it with you guys and being positive, trying to stay. Sharing some insights, trying to help you guys out with your careers, because there's a lot of you guys that are out there that are ready to pull the trigger, but you haven't done it yet because you're not confident enough. We're going to help you out. We're going to give you some resources and some information, and we're going to make you laugh at times, and we're going to make your day a little bit more lighter than it was the day before.
Facts. You guys are not alone. Creators, the world's shitty right now for us. You aren't alone.
A lot's happened since yesterday,
A lot's happened
guys.
since fucking yesterday, but we are here today, and we'll be here tomorrow. We won't be here tomorrow, but we're going to try to do this on a very, very... I think we're going to try to do weekly, brother. I think we're going to go hard. We're going to try to do weekly. We want to keep this shit going. We want to interact with you people. So please, hit us up. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you'd like to hear. Give us ideas. Subscribe, share, all of that shit. And until then, though... A lot's happened since yesterday. A lot will happen today. Some will happen tomorrow. Be good humans. Take care of each other. And enjoy the interview with our good friend, Michael Aronovitz. We'll see you next time. 3, 2, 1. Ralph, we're here. Michael.
What's up, dude?
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, sir. All right, as this is our first episode, we're going to start off strong. Mike is our first guest because, well, you got some history with us in a way. I didn't even realize before I even met you had history. But Michael, first and foremost, is he's a professor at University of Delaware, correct? I want to make sure I'm not misquoting.
Yeah, University of Delaware and Immaculata University.
Oh crap! So double time, sir. Okay, and then you're also a horror writer. You've got some stuff coming up we're going to get into because I have read some of it, and you, sir, with all due respect, is a sick motherfucker. And also, you do rock reviews.
Correct.
We're going to get into all of that, but I just wanted to give a quick, small background because I want to discuss, and that's what we're doing here. The show, for everybody listening, is a lot's happened since yesterday. Ralph, why?
A lot's happened since yesterday, bro.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. You got to get used to it. You got to roll with the punches. But a lot's happened since yesterday, and we know this.
Quiet, yeah.
It's the perfect name for the show because a lot really has happened since yesterday. We're just kind of like trying to figure out, what we can do. Can we go outside? Can we talk to each other? Can we shake each other's hand? Probably not.
Is this social distancing? Is this far enough?
Look at this.
Are we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Michael's. Where are you out of, Michael? Are you from Boston?
No, I'm from Philly.
You're from Philly. Okay.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Nice.
Philadelphia Eagles. Very cool. Very cool. So you're far away. We couldn't have you on here. Unless we were to fly you down or something like that, which right now with the pandemic and everything going on, it's not a good idea. So, but what do you think about this pandemic, real quick? I just wanted to ask you.
Well, I think it's a clusterfuck. I mean, I don't think it's been handled well. The only thing, like, I like to look at things positive, and one thing it made me a little better with tech. Because I'm so tech challenged. I'm actually just stupid. And then all of a sudden I had to learn how to use Zoom. I had to build online classes. And you do what you got to do. And it's just like you said, yesterday looks nothing like today.
No.
Every day is a new adventure. Who knew Like when I was growing up, if you told me you're going to be like that fucking cartoon, The Jetsons, and you're be able to talk to somebody on a screen like it was a fucking telephone, I would have said you're crazy.
No.
Look at us now, man. Look at
Agreed.
us now. I'm on a podcast, man. Dreams do come true.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, really, if you think about it, you're absolutely right. Not even the fuck the quarantine and all the shit that's going on. I mean, just look at what we've got going technology wise. I mean, I'm not bearing in the lead. We have to get into this. We're gonna get into your shit, Michael. But you started talking technology, and we have to. We know aliens exist, and this has just hit. Well, I guess we technically don't know aliens exist, but UFOs have been confirmed, I guess. So
They still exist.
I agree.
They're all in New Jersey.
Oh, is that everything's legal in Jersey? No, we're my Hamilton fans. But no, it is. We were talking about this before we hit the record. The technology has made the world nothing. You know, everybody says stay 6 feet apart. I'm like, fuck 6 feet apart. I have family that lives thousands of miles away. They know everything that goes on in my world now. It's, what are you doing today? Here, look, you know. I mean, I told you guys today's my daughter's birthday. Happy birthday to my daughter, but they're going to be here just on an iPad, you know. Sorry. But you know what I mean? Like it's insane, that kind of crap. So the plus side is, imagine what COVID would have been without this shit. Holy crap, dude. You know?
Yeah, and also going on at the same time as all the social unrest, you know, about race. And for me, that's sort of, it's connected with technology. I mean, just read 1984 by Orwell. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, Big Brother is watching you. We don't have Big Brother. We have Little Brother. It's called a cell phone.
Right.
You can't fart in public without somebody catching it on a cell phone. Mm-hmm. It's just amazing. And also, it's kind of amazing how everything is getting smaller.
Yeah.
People like that. I mean, my students at school, they watch whole videos on a cell phone. And for me, I like the barroom screen. I'm still old school. I like it to be as big as possible.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get away from technology. Like Cody and I were talking about this before. When I was growing up, there were no bank cards, microwaves, cable, personal computers, cell phones. All we had were muscle cars, rocket ships, and fucking rock. You know, and so that's where we lived.
That's true.
I'm a 70s kid, so I was spoiled. Like the 60s set everything up, and then the 70s was just freaking golden.
Are you a Star Wars fan?
Yeah, I kind of like Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I haven't seen like all the movies that they've been doing lately. I mean, now we're up to Star Wars 12, the musical, you know.
I'm just saying, guys, Mandalorian comes out October 30th. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ralph, were you a big Star Wars fan?
I am kind of a Star Wars fan. I remember seeing Return of the Jedi when I was a little kid. And that was like a big deal for me. So, yeah, and I think they've done a fantastic job going forward. Cody mentioned The Mandalorian, and I think that's a really cool show. So I'm into it. You know, I'm both Star Trek and Star Wars. Those are like the two top sci-fi shows and movies for me. So yeah, I don't know if you're into sci-fi or not. Do you believe in aliens? You mentioned something about that.
No, if we're going to talk reality, I don't necessarily know either way if they're here now, but the idea that the human beings on Earth and all the planets in the universe and all the universes in the fucking galaxy, you can't tell me there isn't a germ on another planet. We're not the only living things. It doesn't make logical sense.
Yeah, it's pretty far-fetched.
So when it comes to that, yeah, it's a question of time, right? I mean, we were just talking about that back in my day when I was growing up. I had to play with a yo-yo or throw a tennis ball against the wall.
Yeah.
Now, we can actually talk to each other like this. I mean, I just think it's incredible. But when you're talking about like sci-fi movies and stuff like that, first of all, the old Star Treks, especially the first 2 seasons, they only had 3. All the big sci-fi writers were writing those. And some of those episodes won Hugo Awards. I mean, Joan Collins made her acting debut on City on the Edge of Forever, which was the best Star Trek of them all. And that won a freaking Hugo Award. Now for me, sci-fi isn't really my thing to write. I only wrote in my collection that's coming out a year from now, Dancing with Tombstones, through Cemetery Dance Publications. It's like a lifetime of collection of my work. It's about 400 pages. I have one sci-fi story in there. I experimented with it, and I call it Soul Text. And there are 2, the story is based on the fact that there are 2 inventions about 30 years from now, and one is the thumb screen. Because all kids do now is they're looking for a charger. And in my story, we put the cell phone, we actually physically, a surgeon puts it on our thumbs when we come of age around,
Oh wow, that's interesting. That's cool.
Right. So, and it's powered by human neurons. We don't need a charger anymore. And then we flip the pages with an ocular device by winking our eye. But then the other thing along with that, they come up with a program called Soul Text to make it so we can really know each other. And if you and I exchange social security numbers or a PIN, then I'll know what's in your head. And it gives people the ability to read minds. And they think it's going to be great. And, it'll make lovemaking better. It'll make politics better. And what ends up happening is everybody just wants to destroy each other. And then, right. And then in the end, they tell people just like, it's weird because it's like a pandemic. And the end of my story, I'll give a spoiler. Everybody has to stay in their house. They're not allowed out. And they have to cover up their thumbs with duct tape, nothing with holes in it, or else they're going to be shot because they can't shut it off.
Wow.
Bro.
That sounds crazy, man. That's a cool story, dude.
Bro, that's some straight up Elon Musk shit, man.
Well, thank you. I never got anybody to listen. Well, that was great.
Well, I've already
No, that was great. You're great.
Go ahead, dude. No, that's all, man. This is the downfall of Zoom.
That's great storytelling right there, Michael. That's why I respect you so much, because you just have this great imagination and this ability to put it down on paper, which is something that I don't have. And it's a very strong talent. And yeah, I'm proud of you, man. Tell me real quick, because I really want to know, what got you into writing horror?
Yeah, the thing that got me into writing horror, simultaneously, 1978, a bunch of things happened that changed my life. First of all, Van Halen 1 came out, and I heard Eruption, and I didn't know how it was done, but I heard the two-hand independence tapping for the first time. That same year, I read my first Stephen King book, and that same year, Halloween 1 came out.
Oh, wow.
And as much as Stephen King was an influence, and I took that into my college years, because I was a junior in high school in 78. But really the influence, I read everything that King wrote after that, because he cares more about character than he does anything. And I connected with his characters like nothing I had ever read before. I hate reading. Reading is fucking boring. I still say that. I mean, even now, if I read an academic book, I read it from a point of anger. I take notes in the margin about what I would change and whether I would have used a semicolon there or whether you should have done that. I always come from a position of fucking anger. I hate school. That's why I'm a teacher. I know that doesn't make sense. Run the classroom. And
so you're kind of like if I just let me do it because you're going to fuck it up. So I'll just go ahead and handle it.
And that's why I got out of music. I can't play in the sandbox with anybody.
Oh, okay.
On the whole show. And I just figured the best thing for me to do is write because I can run the whole puppet show.
So not to cut you off, Mike, but we want to let our audience know. You started off as a musician, is that correct?
I loved music. I can remember when I started loving popular music. We used to take these long trips from Philadelphia to Boston, where my cousins are. And my mom, she and I listened to show tunes all the time. That was her thing. And we had 100 albums at home. We used to sing West Side Story together, that whole 9 yards. You know what I mean? Guys and Dolls, all that stuff. And we were on these long trips, and my mother was really strict. Like in our household, you didn't say you had to take a piss. You said I have to urinate. I mean, she was all into vocabulary and stuff. So all of a sudden, me and my brother were arguing. Me and him were like oil and water. And she put on the radio. She put on AM radio, and I heard Goodbye Yellow Brick Road for the first time. I heard Ramblin' Man by the Allman Brothers for the first time. And I even heard the Carpenters for the first time. And I realized music is going to be part of my life for the rest of my life. It touches you in a place that writing doesn't even come close to. And Ralph, that's why when you say, that you envy me because I can write stuff down on a page, I envy you for writing songs like anything and see through. And I have to say this. I just listened to it earlier today. Those two songs are so freaking good, Ralph. I mean,
thanks, bro.
We'll talk about this later in the show probably. My introduction to Ravenscroft, of course, was Cauldron of Deceit back in 2015. And the only reason I know Ralph is because my third novel had come out. It's called Phantom Effect. Pretty big publication for me through Nightshade Skyhorse. And I'm bad with tech, like we were talking about.
Right.
I was wondering, what am I going to put on Twitter besides my buy links, which nobody gives a fuck about anyway? And I thought heavy metal connected with horror. Maybe if I get to know some horror people, I might make my circle a little bit bigger. I mean, all right. So there were a lot of people who were right on the brink of being big, putting their stuff on Twitter and saying, like, if you friended them or whatever it is, if you followed them, they had an auto thing that comes up and says, will you listen to my music and tell me what you think? So the first one that I pulled up, I had seen 100 of those. And the first one that I put up was Ravenscroft. So I was like, I know how to do an analysis because I teach it. So real fast, and Ralph was the one who sent it to me, I saw Ravenscroft, and I'm like, ooh, can I listen to your music? So I listened to Cauldron of Deceit. And I got lucky. It was like a home run because the song is so fucking good. The thing is just perfect from front to back. It's the video I always wanted to make. And I went back on Twitter in that fucking message thing that's like this. It's like that. And I freestyled like a pseudo analysis, really just telling them how much I just like the song. And I went micro, like I tell my students to do. I talked about moments in there, like moments where they're showing the guy in the psych ward that was really good. Moments where they all go like this and it all fits. Moments like at the end of the song when he's saying, can't you hear me scream? And he builds on that. Yo, that's an arc of drama. That's how you teach writing, man. It was all connected. And Ralph, his reaction was, dude, of course you can write, something on us. So I was connected with the blog called Hellnotes, and I said to them, I want to start a new column. I want to connect horror and heavy metal. And the first band I want to do is Ravenscroft, and that was my first music review. And to be honest with you, and that was love at first sight. That actually got me writing reviews regularly, and I write for Metalheads Forever. I've written for Heavy Music Headquarters. I had my own column called Goblet of Shock. Out of that, I ended up doing this crazy radio show with this lady. She calls herself Metal Angel. She called herself Wicked List back then. And I've written over 100 reviews. I make my students read the reviews for extra credit.
Wow.
They circle all the $1 million words. In fact, right now, Ralph, you're going to be famous, and Cody, you're going to be famous, at Immaculata University and University of Delaware, because they're going to watch this. I'm going to make this a requirement. Fuck it, I can do whatever.
Well, shout out to Delaware and Immaculata. You guys rock, and buy Ravenscroft and soul7media.com. All right.
That's awesome. That's an awesome, dude. That's an awesome story, dude. That's so cool. That I'm proud to be a part of the fact that you started getting into rock interviews because you're great at it. Tell me one of your favorites, because I know that you've done some really cool ones.
Well, I mean, number one, of course, is the first one I did on you guys. But coming up 1A, there's a metal band. They're progressive metal. They're off Eclipse Records. Ralph, you know Eclipse. They're a nice little boutique label. Mm-hmm. And the guy who runs it, Chris Poland, is just a gentleman. He's just a great guy. He's a friend of mine. I've done so many reviews on Eclipse bands. And there's a progressive metal band called Sifting out of LA. And they're look, I don't charge the magazines for the articles. I don't take money from rockers. I just will never do it. But if you give me free tickets, I'm going. And I had written an article on Sifting. Their album Not From Here had just come out. It was like 2017. And they Poland sent me tickets because they came to Philadelphia. And they came they came to the Theater of Living Arts on South Street. And my son was home from college. And it was just a great night. They left tickets at the door for us. Me and my son, we go out to dinner. We walk in, and the bass player, Winston, is waiting for us. He has purple hair. He's waiting for us at the merch table. And I saw my interview questions then. I blew them all on that one in the little informal interview. And then, we walk in. It's like a dance floor in there. You can fit about 5,000 people all together. We walk up. We're in the second row. And they warmed up for Sons of Apollo. That's a good band.
I love those guys.
It blew everybody off the fucking stage. And it was perfect for me. Like Eduardo, the singer guitar player, reached over and handed me a guitar pick, a dream come true, right? I never got a fucking guitar pick in a concert. I was always up in the nosebleed seats. And then get this, after the concert, they're all waiting for me at the merch table, and they go, "We're ready for your interview now." And I was like, I already blew my questions. And I go, okay. And it's raining outside. They go, "Let's go outside." So, the five of us all together, it's 4 band members. We go, and we're under an overhang in a store across the street that's closed. And as I said, I already blew all my good questions. So all I could think of was to tell them how much I liked them. And I was drunk because they served beer, and I drank about 10 beers. I'm going, right? And I'm just like, "I love you guys," that thing. And then all of a sudden I said something intelligent. I was proud of myself. I said, "Eduardo, the hooks for your vocals, the hooks you use in your choruses are really original." And he goes, "Well, what do you mean?" And I go, "Well, like in the song Not From Here, da, 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 nobody comes in with that note." He goes, "Sing that again." And I started singing the chorus, and they start singing with me in harmony. Did you fucking hear what I just fucking said? Sang in harmony with Sifting under an overhang in the rain, like I'm fucking Freddie Mercury in the movie. You know, like after he sees him in the bar and their guitar player singer leaves and he goes, "What about me?" And he starts singing. They made me feel like a fucking boss. They made me feel like a boss, the way I feel when I hear Ravenscroft. And I mean, with these two bands, I want to feel that way all the fucking time. And that's why I love listening to metal. That's why I like listening to Ravenscroft. That's why I love Sifting. And that's why I love music, man. It hits me here.
That's so
Right
fucking
on,
cool,
bro.
dude.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
The stories you tell are so fucking cool because one of the main themes we're doing with this is how entertainment as a whole kind of correlates to itself. You know, most people think, oh, you're a writer versus you're a musician versus you're this versus you're that, and it's amazing if you really get into the down and dirty of it, how quickly you see how they parallel. You know, like you said, or Ralph said earlier, I can't tell a story, and I would argue that tooth and nail. I mean, like, you listen to his lyrics and it puts a story in your head right fucking quick. It's a different form of a story, you know, but it's still very much an effective form of writing. You know,
that's an interesting point because I think that you're onto something with that. I think all art comes together at some point,
right?
Whether it's music, lyrical content, poetry, writing, movie making, script drafting, whatever you want to call it. All those things come together, in my opinion, and there's a lot more that comes together with it. It's just the arts all come together. Visuals work with audio, handwritten, writing, poetry. They all work with lyrics for music, for songs. It all comes together to me. So I think it's kind of interesting. It's just weird. I don't know what to call that, but it's a joining of artistic value that
morphing.
Morphing. It morphs.
Yeah, I mean, Ralph, one of the things that I wrote about Ravenscroft is that you have really nice changes that you do that makes the song evolve. And that's the first thing that you tell a beginning writer. Your characters can't be static. They have to evolve. It's all that camel hump. It's the same thing. And when I listen to a Ravenscroft song, the changes are like little plot twists to me. And it all goes up like this, and you reach your climax, and then you have your outro. In fact, one of the things I do, I don't know if you've ever seen it. Have you ever seen Paul Gilbert's Technical Difficulties? It's a video where he plays a live track where the drums and the bass have already been recorded, and he does a live track with headphones on, and you hear what he's doing. That is what he does, the way he sets a tone, sets a theme that he comes back to, reaches a climax, and then is out of it, is identical to the way my students have to write an analysis or a synthesis essay. It's all the same thing. And once you learn how to do it, it's almost like the money doesn't matter anymore. You know when it's good. I never thought the money was important. I thought what's more important is, what do other people feel when they hear it? Have you influenced somebody's life? Did somebody listen to a Ravenscroft song and it helped them through a dark time? Do you know what I mean?
Facts.
And if they ever get the opportunity to talk to you, Ralph, then you can talk about similar experiences. That's why our phone conversations have been so important to me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I agree with you 100%. Money, the financial gain aspect of the business is not always the top priority, especially for the artist, I think. I mean, sure, would any artist like to reach some kind of financial success? Absolutely, I'm sure. Nobody wants to be broke. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to be the starving artist. But at the same time, I do believe that it is important for most true artists to ultimately rise above the financial aspect of it and look at it from the viewpoint of, this is me sharing my soul. This is me sharing my beliefs with people and looking at the world through open eyes and an open mind, and not have a myopic viewpoint, and actually open your mind up to other possibilities and share that with people. And I think that that's true art. And I see you doing it. I see a lot of other people in my life doing it. My brother-in-law is a great artist, and through his art, he shows the world through his eyes. And Cody and I both are doing that. Me and my band Ravenscroft are doing that as much as we can. You're doing it. I'm proud of you. I want to talk about one thing with you. What are you currently doing now? Because I heard a rumor that you signed a new deal, and they're affiliated with Stephen King. Is that correct?
Yes. And excuse me. I have 2 books coming out in fall of 2021. And in fact, the people connected with Stephen King, I had them hold off publishing the book so I could have the 2 come out at the same time. Okay. I'm going to talk about the other book first. My 4th novel is called The Sculptor, and it's a serial killer piece. And the killer is about 30 or 40 years ahead of anybody in technology. And he creates realities and creates his own sort of pornographically violent scenarios, all based on his victim's psychology. And he gets them all wondering if the other is doing it. And it's one of those things. It was so tough to write, Ralph and Cody, that I literally had to storyboard points of view and what they would know was going on at what point. It's a mystery, so it was really hard to write that way. Now, I got that accepted at Nightshade Skyhorse, who they're a big mid-range horror publisher. They put out their biggest claim to fame is they put out the biggest best of each year in America. Now, they're going to put it out fall 2021. Now, when COVID hit back in March, I mean, I was hit with putting everything online, but I also had some spare time. And I did what a lot of artists dream of. I took all of my old stories, and some of them I didn't even have copies anymore. I had to call Hippocampus to send me their file. And I took every one of my best short stories from the best 17 and rewrote every one of them. I modernized them, solved all the little issues that I never could solve before, and made them perfect. And that I sent to Cemetery Dance, and they accepted it. That's called Dancing with Tombstones. Mm-hmm. And that's where the Soul Text story is. And they agreed to put it out at the same time. So Cemetery Dance is as big or bigger than Nightshade, because Stephen King, when he doesn't get Simon & Schuster, I think that's his publisher, when he can't get them to do like more of his edgier stuff, it goes through Cemetery Dance. So I have 2 big books coming out. We're going to do readings and the whole 9 yards, but I got to wait a year.
Oh, wow.
Goddamn COVID, dude.
Yeah, COVID. Yeah, it's screwing everything up. Well, that's exciting though, bro. That's exciting news. I'm looking forward to the release of that. That's crazy.
One of those. Did you send me one of those that are coming up? Is that one of the stuff that I've read?
Yeah, I sent you Dancing with Tombstones.
Okay, because I read. Which ones did I read? I read Puddles, which made me very uncomfortable, sir. I didn't like that one because it was very icky. The whole you're very descriptive, and it's like, dude, garbage, so much garbage.
Yeah, you know what? That's funny, Cody, because I a friend of mine, Tamara Thorne, who's another horror writer,
right,
actually had a blog entry about me on her blog. He said Aronovitz will reacquaint you with the toilet like you've never known.
Holy shit, that's accurate.
Right. But to me, I mean, whoever invented the toilet is a sick motherfucker.
Yeah.
You got your ball sack hanging over a pipe orifice with nothing between it except water. I mean, what kind of foul beasts can come up out of that fucking hole? Or what kind of, when we flush, where does the poopy caca go? You think it's just magic? that shit comes back home to say hello, right?
Bro.
So, the story, Cody, just for the audience, the story he's talking about, Puddles, is about an older woman, not quite elderly, like maybe in her 60s, who lives alone. And she has such bad OCD that she can't take out the trash without like putting on gloves and taking showers and changing her clothes 5 times. And back in the alley, she shares an alley with other people who live in these twins. And the guys who live across the street had rotten garbage, and there was like rainwater in it that got really sour. And the trash men didn't take their stuff for a couple of weeks, so they dumped it in the alley. And she always can't stand stepping back there, even though it's all dried up. And the story starts getting big when she steps in a puddle out there of that kind of rainwater, and then the puddles follow her into her house. So thank you for
you conveyed that brilliantly, because when the bag slapped against her leg, even I was like, oh God, no, get it off, because it just had that, if you're taking out garbage, nothing should ever be wet. Like, to me, it's like if you grab something in a garbage bag and it's wet, I instantly just freak the fuck out. So I was like, oh God. But no, that was.
I think everybody has a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And I have a little bit of that. Like when I used to go out to work before the pandemic, I iron my clothes up in this room where I am now. And I put the iron on the floor, and that's fine. And then I got to turn off the coffee maker. I mean, it could probably be on all day and it's no problem, but I got to turn it off.
Right.
So then while I'm unplugging the coffee, I'll say to myself, did I unplug the iron? And then I'll go up to unplug the iron. I'll say, wait a minute, did I fucking forget about the coffee pot? I was thinking about the iron. And I'll do that song and dance times. I mean, maybe I am a sick motherfucker. I don't know.
So what do you think you got a little bit of OCD going on?
No doubt about it. Dude, I got OCD. I have ADHD. I worry about shit. I think about horror. Man, I'm not well. Okay? It's just happy. I'm a happy person, so nobody can.
Are you claustrophobic at all?
No. Actually, I love little spaces, man. Man, stick me in the little spaces and I'm happy.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, I can't relate to that.
I should be on
in a little space and I'm happy. We'll put you in one of those little doll boxes, you know what I mean? G.I. Joe figures go in.
Yo, I think we're starting to write a horror story right now.
No, that's crazy. So we talked about, how you got into horror and how you got into teaching. I want to get on a personal level with you for a little bit. I want to talk to you about some of your personal beliefs. What's your philosophy of life? I mean, are you religious? Do you have a certain ideology that you follow? What is it that gets you going? What's your philosophy on life? What's your beliefs spiritually?
Well, it's a great question, Ralph. My first philosophy is respect for other people's beliefs. That's primary. I think the way we get along with each other is life. And I think that the relationships that we form makes existence and defines and choreographs and sort of makes the picture of who we are. I think like Quentin Tarantino, he loves that line, and this will be the story of you. And I think that's kind of true. I think you write your own story. So respect is number one. When it comes to like God and stuff like that, yeah, I'm a prayerful person, but I don't necessarily, and I respect everybody, but for me personally, I don't believe in the ball teams. I don't think we're different from one another. I don't believe in the my God is God thing. For me, I mean, I more think there's a supreme being, but there's like a chain of life. And like, how would I kind of believe, like, how would I know what God looks like? Like the amoeba has no fucking idea of the agenda of the dog. And the dog, except for the basic stuff that we relate has no idea why I'm pissed off at my boss. So who are we to think that we're at the top of that Sears tower, and that we're in the penthouse and right above us is God? What if we're in the middle of that chain? I feel like we're in the middle of National Lampoon's movie about the fraternities, where the dude gets stoned and goes, well, you mean like there could be a whole universe inside a molecule in my thumbnail? And maybe I could be in somebody's. I'm not trying to get simplistic like that, but I think it all goes back to the first thing. It's about respect. I think religiosity, if I could say it that way, religiosity is what you did with the relationships that you were handed in your experience. How do you feel about it, Ralph, Cody? Like, what are your feelings about this stuff?
Well, personally, I agree with you. I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. If you think about how many religions are out there, and then denominations and religions, it goes on and on and on. You know what I mean? Just in Christianity alone, there are tons of denominations, different sects, if you will. And so, and they all have slightly different ways of believing, or, their opinion of what the Bible is saying. It kind of moves around here and there. And there's a lot of religions like that. They call themselves Christians, and then other, religions will say, no, they're not a true Christian religion, they're a cult, but who's to say, you know what I mean? But I do believe a lot of religions follow the same tone. I do believe that they follow a very similar guideline. Buddhism, for example, compared to Christianity, there are certain things that are very similar. And I believe that truly, that it all comes from, I don't know, one place maybe, but it's kind of like the story in the Bible, the Tower of Babel, where, man was trying to reach God and be on the same level as him. And what was his name? The guy that was in charge of building it, he was like the leader. I think it was. I'm
not going to pass this test.
No. Nimrod.
Yeah.
Nimrod was his name, and we use that term in a negative way.
Right.
In today's society, you're a Nimrod. It's like basically telling someone that they're stupid. So anyways, but the point is that they built this Tower of Babel, and then according to the story in the Bible, God confused the languages because he didn't approve of what they were doing. So they couldn't communicate, and they had to spread out. And that's part of the story. That's just the beginning of it. But the point is, I think that we are all like coming from different places, and we all have different life experiences. So we're very susceptible to where, our circumstances, you know what I mean? When you're young, you're taught to see things a certain way and believe things a certain way. And I believe that that is what molds you. So you have this viewpoint in life, and it becomes very myopic because it's based on what you know. But you maybe don't have the ability to put yourself in another person's shoes or understand other circumstances that people have dealt with as they were growing up. And I think that makes all the difference in the world as to your belief systems. Belief systems, I think, is a big part of it. I think that's a big part of religion is you have certain belief systems that you're embedded into your head as you're young, while you're growing up. Then that is what you come to believe as truth, even though it may or may not be truth. It may or may not be fact, but that's the belief system that you were taught. And so that's what you go with automatically. It's instinctive, Yeah,
because you're born, you're raised with the values of your parents and your family and everything else. But I think a lot of us forget that the point of it all is to question. You know, we as creators, the three of us as creators, we question everything. I mean, it's just in us to go, wait, why? Or how does that work? Or maybe we can go deep. Who knows? But we just kind of inherently do it. And I think a lot of people think that they're just told the truth and there you go. And after that, la 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 la. I don't want to hear anymore because fuck you. You know.
Right.
And I think it's healthy to challenge yourself. Like you got to put yourself on Front Street and go, wait a minute, motherfucker. Are you real or are you just spouting shit you think you know? You know, and I've been guilty of it a lot. I've done it. I did it for years. And it's weird because when you start making a point of just going, you know, why? I'm not saying I don't believe in religions or I don't think they're good. I think a lot of religions can be very good. But I think there's a lot of people who just go, so-and-so told me that this God is the way to go. So, you know, and that can become very dangerous. That can become, for lack of a better term, just like they do, you really do become a sheep in the flock because you're just blindly following your nose at the asshole in front of you. And from my knowledge of religion, I do come from a Christian background personally, but from my knowledge of religions that I've studied and the corresponding themes, it seems like all religions start with a really good idea and then human beings get a hold of it and just fuck it right up. You know, I mean, it just doesn't make sense a lot of times. It's like, wait a minute. You know, for my biggest one when I was growing up, you know, they'd be like, the commandment says don't kill. And then eat a burger. And I'd be like, wait, it said don't kill. That's a dead cow. Well, it said don't kill people. And I'd go, no, the fucking thing said don't kill. And I just inherently would go, wait, that's not what it says. So why are you making it up? A lot of people, we know this. I mean, it's common for anybody who follows any religion. They know a lot of people will turn around and go, I like this, but I don't like this, you know? So I'm just going to pull that half and say, this is what I believe. You know, like you said, Mike, you know, who the fuck am I to assume I know everything God's intentions? Right. All we have is rhetoric and history. I don't know ins and outs. Shit, until 2 months ago, I'm going to pull this way the fuck around, but until 2 months ago, we were convinced, trust me, I'm going to make this make sense. We were convinced that sperm swam like little fish, little tadpoles swimming up the canal. And by the use of our current technology, we found, no, those motherfuckers corkscrew. So that literally in a matter of seconds destroyed 350 years of scientific truth. But as scientists question everything. Prove me wrong so I know I'm not right. So I know I'm right. And the second you prove me wrong, I go, whoa, shit. Now what does it mean? And they look at the continuance. So to say on one hand, science is bullshit, religion is bad, but to say religion is bad and science is bullshit, no. Because we all have our own religions, I think. We all have, I know I'm getting off of monologues and I apologize, but we all go on these ideas of, you know, my religion for me personally is music, creation, thinking, you know, question. I'm not saying you have to fucking be against it, just question. And a lot of people refuse to do that, and that is causing major problems in the world right now.
All right. Now that was a serious tangent.
Sorry, bro. Hey, I was just commenting like you guys were.
I thought it was great.
Well, hey, welcome to A Lot's Happened Since Yesterday, guys. A special guest today is Michael Aronovitz. Michael, it's been a pleasure having you on. I want to end this on a positive note, but I can't. I have to get further inside your head, and I hope you'll go there with me. What are your thoughts about the political state of the United States right now?
Oh, it's a sewer. It's the worst. It's the worst political atmosphere we've ever had in the country. It's gotten to the point where whether you're on the right or the left, you're hating on your American brothers and sisters, and I don't believe in that at all. I want to answer it this way. I think the evil is the twisting of the First Amendment, which is freedom of speech, the twisting that Fox News and CNN have done, because it's not news. It's hate TV, propaganda, and they do different types. Fox News is a bunch of false equivalencies and logical fallacies. I could teach about this. And just pure propaganda and hate. And CNN is all about omission. And just, if we're going to go hate Trump, we're just going to focus on one little thing, and they leave out stuff. And I believe that our country would be in a better place if we outlawed partisan news. And put some kind of regulations on it where we can live with the fact that we're hampering freedom of speech, because it's been perverted. And I blame Fox and CNN for most of the shit that's going on right now.
Yeah, I think a big problem with is a lot of people, they forget that those channels are mainly for ratings. So they want to keep you watching. So they're gonna throw the worst of the worst at you because, drama sells.
If it bleeds, it reads.
Yep. Yeah.
Right. And guess what? I think it was Milton who said this, and I'm an English teacher. I should fucking know this. I think it was Milton in Paradise Lost. How does the devil form his army? Misery loves company. And that's exactly what Fox and CNN want you to do. They want you to go to your nearby watering hole and say, those fucking fascists on the right, or those fucking liberals, those crazy liberals on the left, and they want you to go, oh, we hate them because it feels good. It feels good to hate, right? I feel good doing this right now. I can feel it up my back. Just my tone of voice. Do you know what I mean? There's something about it to go like this that feels good. And that's what our politics have become, and it's sad. And I hope that's not going to be the story of us.
I agree.
Yeah, I hope not either, brother. It's a dark time right now. I mean, of course, we're dealing with the virus, which is really, I assume, unprecedented in this century, at least, to have this kind of a lockdown situation. I don't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember a time in this century that has been that bad.
No way.
Not in our lifetime.
Not in our lifetime. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Based with that, there's people that have to, go to work every day anyways. And they're putting themselves at risk. And we don't know that much about this virus. We just know that it's real, but we don't really know what causes it. Some people get over it. Some people don't. They're still trying to figure all that out. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think that there's a political aspect to that at all?
To how long we're going to have the virus? Well, I think that Trump lies so much that there are a good amount of people, and this isn't me, this is an opinion, they've already polled it. There are a lot of people who just won't trust if a fast vaccine comes. I mean, I'll be honest with you, if Trump a week before the election said, stick this needle in your arm, I'm going to say fuck off, because I don't believe anything he says. I mean, I don't believe when any politician says. It's all fucking hype. Right. For me, I'm already locked down. I'm actually kind of happy being at home. I love people and everything, but I have everything I need here. We're all teachers here. We're lucky. We're all teachers and we're all online. My wife, my son, and me. Excuse me. I miss going out and driving in my car. Here's my prediction, Ralph. We don't know a lot about this disease. I think we're going to be out of the woods a year from now.
Think so?
Yeah, I think we're going to be online and not cured. And this vaccine, that whatever, I think it's going to go until fall 2021.
I'd agree with that, because right now the projections are saying, spring of next year is when the real. I think Fauci last said he's looking more at spring is when more realistic times. He's not saying. I mean, they said. I know they were talking about, and like you said, Trump is pushing for November, and it is what it is. But Fauci's more realistically thinking spring. So if you think spring, get it approved, get it out, start administering. Yeah, we're not out of this until fall. It doesn't make sense to not be. You know what I mean? Like that time frame doesn't seem right. I don't know shit about shit. I'm just thinking big picture and how and how things work, and it doesn't seem to be that when people are trying to roll shit out in a big bad way, it happens in a quick manner ever. And like Mike said, if Trump said, "Hey, I promise it's good," whether you support him or not, to think in the time frame that they're pushing to just go, "Yeah, I'll just jam that at my arm." I might step back a minute and just see what happens. Just wait it out. We've already been here. What? We've already been here. What, 3 months or some shit like that in quarantine? What's another month or two?
It's been 6 months, I think.
Or 6 months. Yeah, sorry.
It's been a lot longer. But my point, I guess, wasn't so much vaccination and when we expect that to happen, but I guess what I was leaning towards was there's a lot of talk, especially from the conservatives, the right, at which I have no problem with them. I don't lean towards any way. I mean, I'm a little bit more on the liberal side, but I also respect a lot of the opinions of the right. I don't think conservatives are bad people at all. It has nothing to do with that. I just want to make that clear because I think a lot of people get the wrong message from me when I lean towards the liberal side of things, and it's just my humanitarian opinion. That we should treat each other well, do unto others, kind of thing. I guess you could look at it from that aspect. But back to what I was saying. There's a lot of conspiracy theories that are going around that this is a left pushed virus. This virus, so what they're saying about it and how bad it is a conspiracy from the left, and that once the election is over after November 3rd, we're going to see
it'll go away.
Yeah, basically. It will either mysteriously go away, or they'll say, "Hey, we have a we have a shot that's going to take care of this." You know what I mean? All you got to do is get your shot, and you'll be good to go. You won't have to worry about it anymore, and then things will start opening up. That's a conspiracy theory that I've heard from a lot of people, especially conservative friends of mine.
Right. I don't know. I don't know that it's it's like 100% that way, but I do think I think it would be I think it would be fair to think that some percentage of that is. I mean, for fuck's sake, it's election year, So do I think maybe they're full on lying about the virus? Not at all. I don't think that at all. But do I think maybe...
Are they ramping it up based on political power plays?
To a certain extent, I believe they are. I think they're making... And maybe only as far as just being fucking drama queens about it, I mean, I'm not diminishing anybody's death, but they are still keeping a fucking score. And if that is not pushing fear for the sake of fear... What are we doing? We know there's a sickness out there. We know it's bad. We're doing everything we can to be better for everybody. There are some who aren't. Whatever, do your thing. That's all on them. But do we still need to have, 37 people died today. 37 people died tomorrow. I mean, it's like, I get it. People are sick. I get it. This is bad. But what the fuck are you doing if you're not trying to keep us scared during the duration of this?
Cody, if you watch CNN... They literally have the number of people who have died up in the corner.
Yes, it's like a fucking video game. Yeah, they're keeping score.
Red numbers, like they're keeping score, right? And look, there's just as much lies on both sides, man. I think
100%.
I wish we could get rid of both parties, to tell you the truth, because neither stand for what they say they do.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of lies. Trump lies every second. All he cares about is getting reelected. Because then he's not the sitting president anymore. If he gets reelected, he can beat the statute of limitations on all the shit he did.
Yeah.
and then fucking Joe Biden has one marble rolling around in his head. He's old. And Kamala Harris, she tore him such a new asshole.
Yeah.
To wipe his forehead, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm your vice presidential candidate." They're all full of shit, yo.
Yeah, and that's the biggest issue I have with this shit now. It's like they're not even trying anymore. You know, at some point politics were like, "Hey, we're proper, and I'm trying to do well," and now they're just like, "Oh yeah, I think he was I think he did some sexual assault," and they're like, "Hey, you're going for vice president now?" And she's like, "Oh, that's just the campaign trail." And I'm like, wait a minute here. Wait. Now you want the job? How is this going to work? You know, I mean, I don't run the country. I don't even do any of that shit that powerful. But if somebody in my workspace accused me of sexual assault and then a week later was like, I'm just kidding. I'd be like, yeah, get another job. Fuck off.
It's like they were trying out for a reality TV show or something.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, dude.
Hey, dude, I was just auditioning. You know what I mean? That none of that was real. That was acting.
And I think that's the biggest issue with this right now is they're still playing the old political game of lie and get your way, and we have a lot more people being able to go, no, that's bullshit. You know, and there's people on the ground level going, that's factually untrue. I'm here looking at it. It's not here. You know, and shit like that.
And you know what I have to say for anybody who's so wrapped up in the hate of whatever side they're on, I'm gonna do a comebacker here. I think they need to find some kind of artistic expression.
Yeah.
Because remember we were talking about the money, which would be good to come in, but Ralph doesn't make music. Cody, you don't make music and do what you do because you're trying to make money. It's different. We have stuff for that. We do this because we have to. I don't write to make money. I mean, if you add up all the money that I don't mind telling you this, if you add up all the money I made in the last decade, I mean, maybe 25 grand if I scrape together everything. I just got a check today for a short story that's going to go in a hippocampus book called Penumbra. And it's my story Cross Currents that I wrote a year ago. And I got a check for $138. Now, I'm not going to be able to feed my family for 3 weeks on $138.
Yeah.
I don't do it for the money. That's nice. I do this because I have to. I do this because instead of having negative shit that I want to throw at somebody else for being a liberal or a Republican, I would rather take all of that energy and I put it into my writing. And here's one for you. Caitlin Kiernan is a pretty big horror writer, at least in my community of the horror presses. And Caitlin Kiernan had a quote that I thought that was great. If you're an artist and you are motivated by making money off of it, it's the same thing as fucking your pet duck-billed platypus. And I don't know exactly what that means, but it makes some fucking kind of sense anyway.
Yeah, it does have some profoundness. Yeah, or profoundness, I should say, right?
It's a little bit weird, but a platypus, huh? Okay, so she's basically saying you're fucking something that's confused already. No, I don't know.
She's saying, I think she's saying that you're fucking yourself.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you're doing anything for a price, then you get what you pay for. You know, if I was trying to do this to be rich and famous, I would have quit a long fucking time ago. You know, It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. And it is entertainment and content creation if you're trying to do it for any job. It's just like any job. You start at the fucking mailroom and you find your way. And the problem, though, is with what we do, everything comes out of our pockets as well. So it's not like, oh, I go and sit in an office and I get paid and then I learn my ropes and then I climb. It's like, no, I'm doing this out of the love of the game. You know, I'm willing to take one for the team and you know, the amount of money that's poured out from any band or any kind of content creator when it comes to shit like that is astronomical in the grand scheme of things, where most people would be like, are you out of your fucking mind doing this right now?
Something that goes right along with that, Cody, if you're in a band and you're trying to be at the head of the latest trend, you're not going to do anything. You got to stick to what you're good at and what you believe and your vision.
Right.
If you're trying to do other people's vision, it literally, for people who aren't in a band or don't write, I want you to kind of stretch your mind and think about this. Here's something similar. I have had offers for money to write like a horror story that somebody else tells me what the theme is, and I can't do it.
No, that sounds very uncomfortable to me, honestly.
Right, like I had a guy from Dark Renaissance Publications who had just taken on the paperback of my first novel, and he said, "Write me a haunted house novella, and I'll pay you $500 or something like that."
Right.
I couldn't do it. I literally couldn't do it because it didn't come from me. You know, I don't want to get into talking about too much process because it sounds like radio static after a while, but my process, it's got to be something that I come up with an image that I aspire to, or I have a character that I just have to write. If somebody tells me, like, you got to do this, it's really hard. In fact, for the first time, I did it because I forced myself to, and the story came out okay. The collection, the anthology that I've been a part of that Jason Henderson runs, he wrote Van Helsing. And I was on a podcast of his. That's how I met him. He had me on a podcast when one of my books came out. And he has started his own small press. So he's not making any money either. A great guy, too. And he calls it the Castle of Horror Anthology. And I've had a short story in the first 3. So for the 4th one, he made a theme, women running from houses. And I was like, I don't know what to do. All of a sudden, I just got this idea. Why can't I have some woman who was murdered in the 1800s and she doesn't realize that she's the ghost in the house in 2020, and she thinks the people moving in are the supernatural intruders.
Oh, that's trippy.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's my first piece of flash fiction. It's only 6 pages. It's really short. It's like that. And I really don't know how good it is. And, I think Jason might have just put it in the book because he and I are friends. I don't know how good it is. That was the only time in my career that I've ever been able to mold a vision to somebody else's shit.
Right. Yeah, but even then, though, you kind of didn't, because it's still kind of... Yeah, it still kind of grabbed a hold of you, didn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
She is the one who's not running from the house at the end. That's my last line.
Nah.
I fucked with the structure. I did it metal.
There you go. That's what you got to do, dude.
Talking with you for a while now, we've established that you're a horror writer, you do rock reviews, and you're also a teacher at college. What is? Do you have any hobbies? Is there anything that floats your boat outside of those 3 things? Because I know those are the main things that you're doing. I don't know that they're the only things that you're doing, but I wanted to know, is there anything else you're into? Is there any other hobbies that float your boat, that get you going? Do you like to play sports? Do you like to watch sports? I don't know. A bunch of questions.
I have a great answer for you. I am a baseball freak.
Okay.
I like watching football, but I don't understand it on the level that my son does. Like, I don't know all the defenses, I don't know all the routes that they run, but I do know baseball really well because my son was a gifted baseball player for a youth player, and we played in AAU tournaments and stuff like that, and I coached. So, yeah, coaching baseball, man.
Oh, really? Wow.
Hey, there's nothing like it when your kid is up to bat and he's got this pitcher's number, and I got the best seat in the house. I'm coaching first base. I'm slightly in foul territory. I'm like 60 feet out. I'm as close to the pitcher, and then seeing that ball come in and hear him bang, that thing go up against the gray sky, it'll break your fucking heart.
Are you one of those coaches that's like all quiet and chill, and then you're like, motherfucker, that was a red, and you start kicking dirt at him and shit?
I'm not a dirt kicker, but like when my son was good,
yeah,
I would be like, he'd say, Dad, don't cheer me on. be a base coach. Tell the guy what to do, because I'll forget I'm the base coach. I'm just like, yeah.
And you got field seat.
Right. I got the field seats, but yeah. So Ralph, that's it. And watching baseball is my therapy. So, when the season got delayed, I got bummed out. Because the Phillies usually suck, and if you're looking at it for them to win, that's not the point. I just like every at bat and all the psychology, and I know a little bit about it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's that, man. Thank you for asking. It's a great question.
Oh, no worries. Well, so is there anything that you want to pitch to the fans?
Yeah, what you got coming up?
What do you got coming out? What do you have a website?
Well, you know what? I have a blog. It's michaelaronovitz.com. I don't add to it as much as I should. And as for something to push, my 2 big books are coming out in a year. So you can't like buy them in advance. They don't even have the galley proofs yet. But hey, I'll show you something. Wait right there.
Ooh, sneak peek.
On October 13th, we're having our launch for the Castle of Horror. This is our 3rd one that came out in the summer.
Right on.
This one has my story Cross Currents in it. No, I'm sorry. It has The Echo. And the one coming out, Women Running Away from Houses, comes out October 13th. So there will be a Castle of Horror launch party. And what I'll do is I'll send you guys that link. And then also you should look out for this bad boy. This is my author's copy. This is getting released soon. You can see it's an anthology by my guy, S.T. Joshi, that I told you about. And Apostles of the Weird has a bunch of really cool authors in here, and it has a story of mine called The Legend of the One-Armed Brakeman. And this comes out really soon. You know who else is in this book? John Shirley. He wrote the movie The Crow.
Oh,
wow.
I love that. I love that movie.
That's crazy.
Yeah, how's this? For my collection that you read, the Puddles piece, Cody, the collection Dancing with Tombstones, the only blurb that I got for the back cover is by John Shirley.
Oh, nice.
So that's a real nice little connection there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's big time. I'm just a little guy with stories on his computer. But yeah, Apostles of the Weird. One last thing. This is put out by PS Publishing, which is a British horror press. And I've been trying to get a story in one of their things for years. So this was like a big thing for me.
That's fucking cool, dude.
The British
Awesome,
press, man.
That's
So that's that. Thank you for letting me do that, guys. That's great.
No, that's awesome, bro. We're proud of you, man. We really did. We wouldn't have you on this show if we didn't think you were an amazing talent. You're excellent at what you do. The horror writing is fantastic. I remember reading a couple and I was like, oh my God, this gave me chills, so you're just really good at what you do. And I wish you the most success. And it's good to be your friend. It's good to have come into an acquaintance with you. I know it was a weird scenario, but I think it worked out. And I think this has been a fantastic friendship. I'm enjoying seeing you continue to move forward in your career in horror writing. I think it's exceptional, the new deal that you just got. Everybody check out Michael Aronovitz. So where can they check you out officially? Do you have... I know I mentioned the website, but where can they check out some of your works? Because you've done a lot of short stories as well. So where exactly can they check that out? Amazon or?
Yeah, if you go on Amazon and stick my name in there, all of my stuff will come up. My first collection, 7 Deadly Pleasures, is there. I know probably, you know what the best one is, Ralph? My first novel titled Alice Walks.
Alice Walks, I remember I read some
Alice,
of that.
yeah, Alice Walks. The electronic version is put out by Cemetery Dance, the ones that are associated with Stephen King.
Okay.
That's the best version of that novel. And you can go on Amazon and just put in Alice Walks.
Okay.
And You want the electronic version. See, the first one that came out by Centipede Press was a collector's hardcover, and they were $60 a piece. I sold out the run, but there are resellers that have it for like $200. Don't do that. You want the electronic version for $4.99, and they even have an app where you can get it on your laptop if you don't have Kindle.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, Alice Walks on Amazon, man.
I think we'll stop it there, brothers.
Michael, thank you.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I cannot thank you enough for being the first guest. This is such a big. We have worked. I think at this point, no shit, it's been a 2.5 year process to this point.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a long, long journey, and you are the official starter. And I'm sure, I'm going to be honest right now, there's probably going to be some hiccups, and there's going to be some shit in this episode to show we're new, but this is the start, and you are, in my opinion, one of the most perfect guests we could have gotten, dude. I can't thank you enough for being on this, brother.
Man.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have you back, bro, at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have you back when your books come out, so we can talk about them and shit, dude, for sure. We'll push them.
That's the time to do it.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. Because then I'll have a real product I can hold up and not just old work.
Fuck yeah, dude.
No, absolutely. Yeah. No, that's cool.
Works for me, brothers.
Okay, cool.
Thank you so much, Michael.
Hey, I'll talk to you guys soon, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, buddy.
Thank you for the opportunity. You guys are great.